Good morning, my dear listeners, my viewers, my students. Today I am present once again with another very touching poem of 11th standard CBSE, and that is Father to Son. Father to Son is a very emotional poem composed by British poetess Elizabeth Jennings, who was born in 1926, died in 2001. Very beautifully, she has expressed her emotions about a father who is very sad, because he is not able to convince his son, his grown up son, to understand about his feelings. He is trying his best, but he is highly disappointed. The problem is generation gap, and generation gap has been reflected in this poem in a very apt manner, in a very appropriate manner. You can also feel it as a reader, as a listener, as a viewer. This poem of 11th standard gives a pip out, a light that goes directly to your heart when you try to understand this poem. Let's start with this poem. I do not understand this child, father is saying. Statement of the father. Poem starts, the first stanza starts with a puzzling situation of a father. That the father is puzzled. What is the problem that my son doesn't understand me? So he's saying that I do not understand this child. I'm not able to understand my child. What has happened to him? I'm not able to catch the problem. What is happening with him? And though we have lived together now, though many years have been spent till now, but father is not able to understand the feeling of the child, and child is not able to respect his father properly because of generation gap. It is happening. जब एक पिता अपने बच्चे को नहीं समझ पा रहा है, तो किस प्रकार उसने इस पोएम के माध्यम से, इस कविता के माध्यम से अपनी भावनाओं को व्यक्त किया है, वो बहुत ही शानदार है. ट्राई टू फील इट. आप महसूस करिए इसको. और ये समस्या इसलिए है क्योंकि बीच में एक जनरेशन गैप है. पहली वाली पीढ़ी की फीलिंग कुछ दूसरी थी, पहले वाली पीढ़ी की भावना कुछ और थी, अभी की पीढ़ी की भावना कुछ और है. अगर मैं कुछ शब्दों में आपको समझाना चाहूं तो आप ध्यान से इस चीज को समझ सकते हैं कि अगर स्मार्टफोन का युग जो अभी है, आप एक बच्चे की एक्टिविटीज को देखिए, और जब स्मार्टफोन नहीं था तो अपने ग्रैंडफादर से पूछिए, आप अपने ग्रैंडफादर से पूछिए कैसी दुनिया थी उस समय, या अपने फादर से पूछिए, वो लोग बताएंगे कि उस समय दुनिया कैसी थी. उस समय लोग लेटर्स लिखा करते थे, लेटर्स पढ़ के रोया करते थे, किसी को देख नहीं पाते थे. अभी मोबाइल से देख भी रहे हैं, मोबाइल पर झूठ भी बोल रहे हैं. तमाम चीजें रोज बात हो रही है लेकिन कोई लगाव नहीं है. दुनिया पूरी तरह बदल चुकी है. तो इस जनरेशन गैप को ये पोएम बहुत अच्छे से व्यक्त करती है. लेट्स कंसंट्रेट वंस अगेन. सो though we have lived together now, and the father is in great pain that yes, it has been a long time. Now son is grown up, but son is not able to catch the feeling of the father. Son is not able to understand the feeling of the father. How father is mentally disturbed. And why? What is the reason that father is mentally disturbed? Because he is not able to convince his child, his grown up child, his grown up son. And he is not sitting with the father peacefully. He is not talking to the father properly. And that's why he feels like a stranger to his son. and son also feels his father as a stranger. These all the problems are happening due to generation gap. And yes, it has been said very correctly that in the same house for years, and they have been living together for years, many years, and the son is grown up, but son is not able to understand the feeling of the father. This is the problem of generation gap, and I know nothing of him. And father is complaining that he knows nothing about the child, what has happened to him, and why he is behaving so rudely. So try to build up a relationship from how he was when small. Now he is recollecting those moments when this grown up child was a child in his childhood days. He behaved at least as a child. But now, when he has grown up, he is not behaving in the same cute manner. He is not so cute child now. Now he is grown up. यहाँ एक फादर की समस्या ये है कि वो अपने बच्चे से जो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा है वो उसको मिल नहीं रहा है। बचपन में यही बच्चा फादर की बात सुना करता था, लेकिन अब वो जो बड़ा हो गया है, तो ऐसा जनरेशन गैप के कारण है कि वो फादर की बात नहीं सुन रहा है, वो अपनी दुनिया में जी रहा है। और फादर अब थोड़ा सीनियर सिटीजन हो गए हैं, तो फादर को ये प्रॉब्लम होने लगा है कि आखिर बच्चा मेरी बात को क्यों नहीं समझ रहा है। That's why father is feeling like a stranger and he is complaining. And now, yet have I killed? And he thinks that somewhere he has missed something. Somewhere he has killed what the seed I spent or sown. It were the land is his and none of mine. Somewhere he has killed that kind of feeling that the child is the product of the father. But the problem is the child is not able to understand the feeling of the father. Times and again, frequently, he is complaining about this. And the child thinks that the property he has, that's his property. He has become materialistic totally. And now the father is feeling the problem of alienation. He has become alienated. He feels himself like a stranger. Although the property belongs to father, but when the child is grown up, the child neglects father's feelings. That's why he is complaining. As the land belongs to, property belongs to the child and it doesn't belong to father. That's why he has a lot of complaints. And once again he is saying that we speak like strangers. And he's complaining, yes, although we are father and son, but we have become like strangers. कोई मतलब ही नहीं रह गया है, वो अपने काम में बिजी है और मैं अकेलेपन से परेशान हूं, लेकिन वो मेरी बात समझ नहीं पा रहा है। That's why father is complaining, and there is no sign of understanding in the air. Lack of understanding in the atmosphere. We can't understand each other. This is the problem. And Elizabeth Jennings, this poetess, what a marvelous description she has given. You can notice it. Nowadays also, you can find such situation in the present world. You can find that children are going to visit old age home. School children. What is the necessity? What is the use of here? What is the use of old age home in India? In our country, okay, she is British poet, but there is the culture. Okay, when child becomes an adult, he leaves the parents and settles somewhere else. But this is happening in our country also. Old age home concept has become now relevant here in our country. What has become, what is the condition of our country nowadays? We can understand easily. This is a this is a kind of slap on our cheek that we are facing such condition. We are facing such conditions, and courts are so many cases are being just in pending situations, that children are not listening to their parents, and parents are also guilty. But in this poem, father is complaining only about his son. That son is not able to understand father's feeling, but somewhere he also feels that he is also guilty somewhere. कि यह केवल बच्चे का ही दोष नहीं है, ये उसके पिता का भी दोष है कि वो अपने बच्चे को नहीं समझ पाया। इस पोएम में आपको ये सारी चीजें मिलती हैं। Once again he is saying that this child is built to in my design. It means that if you talk about genetics, so child is the product of father, his own product, but child now is not ready to listen his father's feelings, and yet what he loves I cannot share, and he is interested in some other things what father is not interested. You understand? It means that he cannot share what his son likes, and that's why he is very disturbed, that his liking is totally different from his son. Now the third stanza, here you can find here, silence surrounds us. Silence surrounds us. There is totally silence when we sit together. Missing of understanding in the air, lack of understanding in the air. And I would have him prodigal. Yes, once again the father is ready to spend as much as possible. If son is ready to spend money, he can give a lot of money to his son. Once again, no problem. But is there any question? Is there any response that he will be able to return to his father? He doesn't believe in it. He is saying that I would have him prodigal returning to his father's house, the home he knew once upon a time when he was a child. In his childhood days, he was listening to his father's feelings. But now when he has grown up, he is not ready to listen anything about father. That's why he is very sad. That's why this father is very sad. This pathetic father is expressing his feelings. And once again he's saying, rather than see him make and move his world, I don't want, father is saying that he doesn't want that his son should be lost in his own world. That he should listen to him also sometimes, but he is not listening. That's why the father is very mentally disturbed, and the father is complaining about it. I would forgive him too. I would forgive him too, shaping from sorrow a new love. No problem. Father is saying that it's not too late. अभी भी ज्यादा देर नहीं हुआ है. अगर वो मेरी बात सुनना चाहे, अभी भी मेरे पास लौट के आना चाहे, वो अपने इस फादर के जो हाउस को, फादर के घर को अगर अपना होम समझ ले पहले जैसा, तब भी ये अपने आप को फादर बहुत लकी मानेगा. बट ही इज नॉट रेडी टू लिसन. ही इज कंप्लेनिंग दैट ही इज नॉट रेडी टू लिसन, एंड ही इज सेइंग दैट आई वुड फॉरगिव हिम टू. ही इज रेडी to forgive him, but no, he is not ready to listen to his father, shaping from sorrow a new love. And his sorrow will disappear. When his son will start listening to the father, then all the sorrow and suffering will be over. But it is not happening. Now in the last stanza, you can find here that his son also speaks. We can find, father and son, we both must live on the same globe and the same land. Father and son, we are human beings. And the last stanza, concludes that Elizabeth Jennings, the poetess, concludes it in a very optimistic tone. Okay, there is something, okay, missing, but we must sit together. We must talk to each other. We both must live on the same globe, this same world, same universe, and we should sit together and the same land, same property, that ancestral property, that property of forefathers. We should sit in the same house, in the same world. We can talk to each other. And what he speaks now, son speaks. He speaks, I cannot understand. Son is also not able to understand that what is the reason that feelings are not being shared between father and son. Understanding is missing completely between father and son. And son is also saying the same thing. I cannot understand myself. Son is not able to understand. यहाँ बेटा भी नहीं समझने लायक है कि आखिर ये ऐसा हो क्यों गया. ये जनरेशन गैप के कारण हुआ है, लेकिन यहाँ पर इस पिता का पुत्र भी बोलता है, बेटा भी बोलता है कि he speaks, I cannot understand myself why anger grows from grief. He doesn't understand why anger grows from grief. That when grief is being surrounded everywhere, so why anger is growing a lot? And that's why I have become irritated and my father is also irritated and we don't talk to each other. It is happening and we each put out an empty hand. But both are very sad. Father and son. Son is trying his best to maintain the things, but he is not able to do so. And then father and son both are empty-handed. They are accepting and longing for something to forgive. And they both want to forgive each other. They have desire to talk to each other, but it is not happening due to generation gap, because that was different generation. Father's generation was different and son's generation is different. This is what is happening throughout the poem. Now we will talk about figures of speech. You can find it out that figures of speech, you can go through. Figures of speech simile have been used also, and then alliteration also it has been used here. The seed I spent or sown, here alliteration, figure of speech. You can find here a repetition of the same sound is happening here. You can find it there. Metaphor also, land is his and none of mine. You can just find it out here. Figures of speech. So this poem is enriched in the figure of speech also. You can just notice. And once I found here, yes. Here in this line, we find simile figure of speech. We speak like strangers. Here, that their condition has become like strangers, that they don't talk to each other. So overall, this poem is a very touching poem, very emotional poem, and father and son. Father especially is very sad, but in the last stanza, son is also expressing his emotion that this is due to generation gap and they are not able to understand each other. Now in the new generation, when son has grown up, so all these things are happening. So my dear students, my dear viewers, my dear listeners, try to understand this poem very well, and I have tried my best to convince you that you can read this poem very well, you can understand this. That's why I have also spoken, I have explained in Hindi also, because my students have requested that, sir, sometimes you must speak Hindi also, that we can understand. So मैंने हिंदी भी बोलना शुरू किया अपने मेरे स्टूडेंट्स को, थोड़ी उसमें सुविधा होगी समझने में. उनको ये लगता है कि मातृभाषा है तो हिंदी में थोड़ा बहुत सर बोलेंगे तो हमको ज़्यादा थोड़ा सा समझ में आएगा. But I have tried my best to explain in Hindi and English both, so you can understand. You must watch my videos and please like my video, share my video, because it encourages me to do better in my life. जब भी मैं लाइक थोड़ा देखता हूँ, व्यूज देखता हूँ, मुझे लगता है कि आप शेयर भी कर रहे हैं मेरी वीडियोस, तो मुझे मेरे सब्सक्राइबर्स बढ़ते हैं, मुझे भी अच्छा लगता है और मुझे और अच्छा और अच्छे से मेहनत करने का इंस्पिरेशन, मुझे प्रेरणा मिलती रहती है. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू एवरीवन. थैंक यू.